Ziqo versus SNUTZ, Perp. How do you call it?
Ziqo is not running a Shadow Reflector, so look for SNUTZ to get the tongues up super early. He's got to use his mana very well. Use it. The mage has to focus on decursing as much as possible, while SNUTZ just deals a lot of damage with rots and dots, essentially. Ziqo going to find it super difficult to get sheeps off with them. Curse of Tongues up. He's going to be looking to... Ziqo says he cheated. Oh, he buried before the duel. Okay, we've got to wait 30 seconds for barriers to come off cooldown. But yeah, like I'm saying, Ziqo wants to cast as many instants as possible. Going to be very difficult for him to hard cast, since SNUTZ has that pet, can continue to cast Fears and Curse of Tongues, elongating out Zico's cast times, making it very difficult for him to do anything. But there are so many resistances that SNUTZ has. He gains extra resistance from his talents in Master Demonologist, and then he's got a ton of it on his gear. And I believe the tier 1 set from Warlock as well has resistance. Your pet gains 15 stamina and 100 spell resistance against... Yeah, that's a lot of stamina. So Zico's going to find it super difficult to kill the pet. Let's see what he chooses to do. He can try and sheep SNUTZ and go for the pet kill, but if SNUTZ escapes that sheep, he's going to be on the big back foot. He may just go for the rushdown strat with the instant cast and Scorches, maybe some arcane missiles as well. We'll see what he chooses to do. And like I said, SNUTZ is going to be focusing on them Curse of Tongues to force Ziqo into instants and make him rot to dots. That's a lot of information that's just exited my mouth.
I always love it when things exit your mouth. Perplexity. Always enlightening. As we get squared away here, it looks like Ice Barrier is now off cooldown. Dual flag about to drop. The Sorcerer of Stockholm goes head-to-head with Voldemort himself. Shadow Word coming out from SNUTZ. Manaing backup. Duel set to begin here in just a moment. Ziqo getting ready to explode all over this Warlock. No SL, no Soul Link this time around. 30% less damage reduction. Go for a couple more drinks here as SNUTZ pops his toe-up off the bat. The Soul Link and reflects the rank 1 Frostbolt onto Ziqo, forcing him to blink in preemptively. He gets the rank 1 Frostbolt off as well as the counterspell. So Ziqo able to hold up SNUTZ just a little bit, prevent enough casting. There's the Cone of Cold as well. Look at that. You notice there is no Soul Link talent. Burst damage coming up from Ziqo. Absolutely insane. Arcane Explosion as well. Blocks the Fear, but the Death Coil blocks the Death Coil. So Cold Snap expended by Ziqo in this first matchup. Will the Forsaken's out of the second Fear. Cone of Cold now coming up from Ziqo. Is he going to be able to do the damage? He needs pops his mana gem, but there's the full duration Fear now. No more blocks, no more Will the Forsaken. It breaks early. SNUTZ bandages back up a little bit, is able to survive and hold on for a little bit longer. Ziqo almost He's not going to be able to take down SNUTZ, barring any kind of miracle. The Frost Nova to come out, the counterspell to buy him time. The Froblock Medicine Pouch and the Evocation is spell locked by SNUTZ. No recovery there for Ziqo. And SNUTZ takes down the Sorcerer of Stockholm.
Chips. You hate to see it. That's a huge choke from Ziqo there. He uses the block on the Fear instead of the Will, meaning SNUTZ can use a Death Coil instantly, while Ziqo is still number 1 on Global, and number 2, it can give him health back. That is essentially what kept SNUTZ in the duel. The health he recovered from that Death Coil, because Ziqo used his block on the Fear, was what cost him that. And then he was forced to snap immediately to get the second ice block on that Death Coil to prevent the further pressure from SNUTZ. SNUTZ now has a completely massive advantage in the second duel. Big choke from Ziqo there. Big choke.
A lot of money on the line as we head towards the end of the CDL championships. This is the losers bracket semifinals, and this is an elimination match here for Ziqo, as he burns both ice blocks, his cold snap, as well as his evocation there at the end of the duel. Was trying to hope to bounce back there, but the spell lock came instantly from SNUTZ to finish off.
He needed to fake that as well. He didn't fake that either. Maybe the pressure getting to Ziqo just a little bit here. SNUTZ staying cool, calm, and composed, punishing Ziqo for every small mistake he uses. You can see how SNUTZ chokes his opponents out like a cobra, like he's ready for every single move. He gets the Fear off. The second Ziqo blocks that, he goes instantly for a Death Coil, knowing Ziqo cannot get off Global in time to, number 1, block it, and number 2, prevent him from getting the heal off. The second that happened, SNUTZ was up again in the duel from Zico's pressure at the start. Ziqo could have won that, but that small mistake there costs him the entire duel and his cooldowns. Let's see what happens in this next match.
As we get underway here, Ziqo now landing the rank 1 Frostbolt. Is he going to go for the Fell Hunter? It looks like he is. Burns a big max rank Frostbolt into the Fell Hunter. He's got to be careful here. We saw Trickster try to do the same thing a couple of duels earlier with Holy Damage, which is non-resistible. It didn't work out for him, but it looks like Ziqo is going to take the chance. He blinks away from SNUTZ, opens up onto the Fell Hunter, rank 1 Frostbolt. SNUTZ not taking the bait, however, kiting his Fell Hunter back towards him, but the grenade lands on both the Fell Hunter and SNUTZ as Ziqo gets the Polymorph off, gets the Frost Nova off. Spell lock now, though, coming out from the Fell Hunter, preventing the damage of the Frostbolt from Ziqo. So great spell lock there by SNUTZ, who gets polymorphed once again. It's on DR, could potentially break early, and you can see Ziqo trying to pump into the Fell Hunter, but it looks like to no avail as SNUTZ breaks out early. The heal on the Fell Hunter goes off. SNUTZ has Ziqo exactly where he wants, and the Death Coil lands. No ice block to prevent it. Fear as well. Will of Forsaken not off cooldown just yet. So Ziqo going to eat that full duration fear as he's feared to the complete opposite side of the duel line. Blinks away and looks to eat and mana back up. He's got to be careful, though, here. He's on the edge of the duel line, could potentially flee, but it looks like it won't matter as SNUTZ eliminates Ziqo from the CDL Championships, takes the match 2-0, and secures a top 3 position in the finals.